We're proud to partner with Lucky Tattoo Supply, professional tattoo supplies for professionals only. Use code LadyLiberty10 to get 10% off your next order at LuckyTattooSupplyUSA.com. Thanks for listening.
So, I mean, thanks a lot for letting, anybody who doesn't know who you are, I'm like, he's pretty much the grandfather of tattooing in the Midwest.
Well, now that Dawn is gone.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. I feel like there's only a few of you guys that
it makes me, and Dave Yurku, and you could, even Spider Don Cross. Right. I mean,
that's a name I don't hear too much.
Yeah, he owns Spider's Tattooing up on 65. He actually tried to get me to come work for him in 1990. Tried to steal me out from under Moses.
Oh, really?
And I come from a day where I knew that I was going to open up a studio in Minnesota, and that meant I couldn't work for anybody else in Minnesota.
Sure.
Right, because that was the old rules.
Yeah.
And I literally told him that, and he's like, "Shahn, what's it gonna take?" And I'm like, "I can't do it because I know I'm gonna open a shop." "Nah, don't worry about that. What's it gonna take?" I said, 90%. He said, "You're out of your fucking mind."
Oh yes.
Yeah, great guy, and I really liked Spider. Even Kevin Brady worked there for a while. Yeah, if you remember that, who that is. Great tattooer and a great artist.
Yeah.
He actually painted the Dr. Feelgood album.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Kevin was one of, man, he did a lot of Motley Crue's tattoos down on Sunset Strip. Yeah, and he eventually moved here to Minnesota and worked for Spider.
Oh my
yeah.
God. So okay, you said 65. That's where his shop was.
I believe it was up there on, I don't know the name of which town it was.
It wasn't Becker, was it?
No. That was Bear Nasty.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah,
that was Bear Nasty. Spider predates that.
Okay.
Spider, when I left Minnesota, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was, even Nolan hadn't opened up yet because that was 88. And there was Dave Yurku and Spider Don Cross. I can't remember anybody else from that time period, and even when I moved home, it was Nolan's, it was Acme, Yurku, Spider Don Cross, and when I moved back to Minnesota, I literally went to Dave and Don Nolan and basically asked permission.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm thinking. Are we cool? Because that's what we did back then.
So, when did you start tattooing then? Because it's kind of interesting what you're saying now. Is it seems like there was a kind of like maybe a back and forth or something, but yeah, like go if you can chronologically through.
Sure. I graduated high school in 1986, and I was supposed to I wanted to be an electronic engineer.
Huh. Wow.
And I wanted to get married.
Yeah.
To my wife, who we've been together. Wanda and I have been together since we were 16.
Wow.
Dad said he wouldn't help with college if we got married, so I went to the military. Which, when I left for basic training, my wife said, "Don't you dare get tattooed." Right? And I'd never seen a shop. I'd been drawn since I was in kindergarten, but I'd never laid eyes on a shop, never considered it. And I'm like, why would I do that?
Yeah.
Right?
So that's what you do when you go to the military.
Why would I get tattooed? It's kind of a dumb idea, right? But then I went through basic and I went to AIT and I saw that first tattoo shop.
Oh. Do you remember where this was?
Yeah, it was in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Oh, whoa, cool.
And it was a really terrible place called Machine Gun Rat, right?
So funny.
Realize I'm supposed to be a smart kid, right? The name Machine Gun Rat didn't tell me, okay, this is probably not the place you want to get tattooed, but I had to go in.
Yeah.
It was like seeing the carnival for the first time. It grabbed me, and I went in, and there was this old biker behind the counter. It was a 24-hour shop, and I'm kind of looking around. I'm scared as hell, right? Yeah. I'm not sure what the language rules are.
You're just
And the old biker behind the counter says, "What do you want, kid?" And it kind of startled me. I said, "That one right there." It was a little dragon, and he said, "All right, sit down." And I said, "Well, how much is it going to be?" He says, $100.
Wow.
And I said, "Well, I mean, it was an E1 in the military. I think my base pay was $500 a month."
Okay, man.
In 1986. I had nothing, right? I had $50. And he says, "Well, we'll do the outline," right?
Wow.
Snatched that machine right out of the dirty Sonic. No new needle, no new tube. Whacked it on there. Slapped me barehanded when he was done. "There you go, kid. We'll see you after Christmas to get it finished up." And it wasn't, terrible, but it wasn't a good tattoo.
Yeah.
So then I came home to marry my wife on Christmas break, because that's the only time I could get away from the military. And Mom saw that tattoo, started crying. Right, thinking I was going down the wrong path, and Dad was an old school guy. Right, everybody called him Papa Don, and you didn't mess with the guy. He was the greatest dad in the world. But man, you made your mom cry. You're on my shit list, right? Right, wrong, or indifferent. He was old school about that. I think I talked back to my mom one time, and my father left that hole in the drywall he made with my body till they sold the house like 20 years later. Oh yeah. But Wanda, my wife, just shook her head, right? She's not surprised by anything I do.
Sure.
So we went back with the wedding money, and she said, "Yeah, you can get it finished with some of the wedding money." And
that's cool.
Probably for very good reason. That shop had closed. Right, I'm sure that. In
between.
And I got one of the the last tattoos in there, right, or something. And so I'm like, I figured that was the only shop in the state of Mississippi, because that's what Minnesota was like. I'd never even seen a shop. I started seeing some really great tattoos on base from a place called California Studio. Well, I thought that was in California. And finally, I said to one of the guys, I said, "Wow, man, I used up all my leave time to go get married. I can't go there to get this tattoo fixed." He said, "No, dummy. It's right around the corner from where Machine Gun Rat was. It's just called California Studio," right?
Wow.
And that was January 1987.
Wow. Okay.
And I went in on a military payday, and I had my base coupon for 20% off. And of course, military payday weekend at a military shop, there's airmen lined up waiting to get tattooed. So I get Sailor Moses on the rotation, and he looks at it, I can fix that. And I said, "Well, how much is it going to be?" He says, $80. And I reached in my pocket and started pulling that coupon out, and he barked at me. He says, "I'm not going to take a coupon to fix that jackass's work." And it scared me. And I turned around and then started to walk out, and Scott Sterling saw that and called me over, said, "Come here, let me take a look at that." And he says, "Yeah, I'll take care of you." Wow. And I was back the next day, never went away.
Really? Really?
Yep. And it was an old school shop, so you weren't just gonna, take up floor space. You better take the garbage out, or
So that's essentially where your career started. Dude, that's so cool.
And then they offered the chance to work the floor. No money. Right. We didn't get paid back in those days. So they just throw you a tattoo occasionally. And I thought I was getting the better end of the deal.
Right.
Oh yeah, man. I couldn't afford those cool tattoos.
Sure.
I'm like, "Great, just don't kick me out of here."
Right.
And I remember after a few months, I said to Moses, I said, "I've been drawing a long time. I'm going to be a tattooer one of these days." And he laughed right in my face. Right.
Did you think that you were headed down that path then? Or was it you were just stoked to just be there and take out the trash?
It took a hold of me.
Okay. So
I literally, after I met Scotty and Moses and Dr. J, I was back the next day, just looking at the walls. I had no money. It grabbed me, and I couldn't get out of it. Right.
Yeah.
So I just worked at the shop and did the Air Force during the day. So I was working 7 days a week, probably 80 to 120 hours a week I was working.
Wow.
Yep.
How long was the period from you working the floor to actually apprenticing or tattooing? How was that transition?
A few months.
Yeah.
It was pretty quick. I think, they saw I was pretty serious about it. They saw I could do okay, as Scotty says, okay artwork. And I, they gave me the shot as long as I could get a station at Keesler, right? And the only way to do that, because it's their main training base for computer repair for the Air Force, was to become an instructor.
Wow.
So at 19, I applied for it and did the work and got instructor duty. I was the youngest teacher on the base. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So I was teaching mainframe computer repair and theory for the Community College of the Air Force during the day. Wow. Living in the tattoo shop, literally, and working at night, or 7 days a week. I think the longest I went tattooing was 3 months.
And you were newlywed.
Yep. My wife is a saint.
I was gonna say.
She's a saint. Well, she's still here. And it ain't easy being married to a beer drinking tattooer.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm way more sane than I used to be. Yeah. Oh yeah. Way more.
That's super crazy. I mean, super admirable that you went and got this great job in the military because you wanted to tattoo.
Just to tattoo.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yep. Well, I still was working on my engineering degree.
Right.
And after tattooing got real serious, then that stopped. I stopped going to night school because I was doing night school at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. I just didn't sleep. I think during the week I had 4.5 hours to sleep a night, and Saturday and Sunday were a little easier because I only worked 12 hours on Saturday and 8 hours on Sunday. Yeah.
And how long was that stint before you became a tattooer full time?
I went pro. I did my first tattoo in 1987. I went pro in 1988. And then I finished my enlistment. I didn't quit the Air Force.
Yeah.
I made a commitment, and you got to follow through.
Sure.
Right. Do you remember your first tattoo that you did?
Yeah. The first real tattoo I did was on me. And the second.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, really, to be totally honest, the first real tattoo was I think a letter J I did on Scott Sterling's leg. Because Scotty, like me, we have a scratch pad here for testing things, new pigment, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I tattooed my buddy's heel, and then I did that dragon.
Cool.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this Ed Hardy dragon, and then Thaddeus Paskey added the background we were testing out.
Cool.
It's real dry, but
yeah, as all of our legs are
in the winter, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, in that area, how many shops were there?
Really, it was Moses, and then Jack and Diane's in Gulfport.
Okay.
And Jack and Diane are still there.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Moses, of course, has passed on.
Sure. Yeah.
His son kept the shop open for a while. But Jack and Diane are still there. And when Moses turned me professional,
yeah,
I had to apply for off-duty employment officially then.
Oh, okay.
And my commander denied me.
Really?
Yep, because he said I'd be tattooing my students. That almost ended the whole thing.
Whoa.
Wow.
So unbeknownst to me, Moses had been looking at Gulfport outside the CB base for a long time.
Okay.
And the Air Force okayed that.
Okay.
So I right away was running the Gulfport shop.
Nice. Wow.
Which was too early.
Sure.
But it was the only way I could tattoo.
Yep. Yep.
And that was a cool time. And during that time, Dave Gibson came through, and Dave Gibson and I were working together at the Gulfport shop. That was, I don't know if you know Dave, but cool cat. Oh yeah. Lucky's Tattoo, but he's now gone too. A lot of my friends are. I always hung out with the older guys. And it's a double-edged sword. You learn a lot, but then you got to say goodbye a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
My gosh, man. So then how long were you down there for tattooing?
I stayed until 92.
Okay.
So I was with Moses from 87 to 92, a little over 5 years. And I went up to run the Mad Hatter's Tea Party booth for Moses in 92. And Julie Moon's husband was coming around getting stuff for the charity auction.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that Julie Moon was looking to hire somebody, and you know, Julie was one of my heroes.
Sure.
I mean, I said to Patrick, I said, how about me?
Yeah.
I'd never even thought of leaving Moses's, right? But that was like, man, it's hard to, you know, you're playing guitar from, you know, Black Sabbath or Megadeth, and you get the chance to work with Black Sabbath, right? I mean, it was, and not another level, because Moses's was hard to describe how cool it was, and how hardcore and traditional and historic it was. But getting to work with Julie, because she was about 180 degrees out from Moses. Moses was rock and roll church. That's what he called it, right? And Julie was much more like Mother Nature. So I don't even think I told my wife that the job had been offered. I went home, went straight to Moses, told him I'd give him a year. And I said, I'm not sure if I want to go. And he made me go. He says, you have to go up and check it out. It's too big. It was very similar to when Scott Sterling got the chance with Mike Malone. Right.
Yeah.
And Scotty and Moses, of course, taught me how to tattoo. But when Scotty got that chance with Mike Malone, Moses did the same thing. He said, you have to go check it out at least.
Right. That's super cool.
Yeah. So I went up to Julie's and checked it out, and and working with her was amazing. Changed me, not only as an artist, but a person, because she, you know, I was a stupid kid, 24 years old, and worked at Rock and Roll Church, and you know, it was go, 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 and Eagles and Dragons, and Julie was like a metamorphosis, like a flow of life, like Mother Nature. And totally changed me. And I was there for 2 years. And then I moved back to Minnesota and opened up Dragonland in 94.
Wow. So you just kind of came and just opened up.
Yep.
Wow.
I primed the area. I was coming home every year on vacation, tattooing. And then when I knew that we were coming, then I went to Don and Yurku and cleared the way, cleared the path, got the okay.
At that time in this area, how many shops would you say guesstimate?
At that time, I believe it was Spider Don Cross, Don Nolan, Dave Yurku. I think Corey was open. And then there was a shop called Rainbow Fantasy, I think. And that might have been it.
So 5.
That might have been it.
How many are there now?
Well, we just did that meeting with the state, and they said there's 398 licensed facilities. But I mean, most of those are the solo suites, the salon suites. I'm sure. So I don't know, as street level shops, I'm not sure. I've got to figure that there's not 398 total. And what did they say? 1,800 professional licenses, 1,500. Yeah, and back then you're talking 30.
That's so crazy.
And for people who may not know, if you I don't know, I guess we know at that time, especially if you're going to go open a shop down the road, you got to go talk to the guy next to you. How important was that to you, coming here and making sure you did that? Or was that just...
It was the way things were done. And Moses, when Moses and Scotty taught me, that was heavily reinforced. Respect for your elders, following your P's and Q's and respecting other people's, territory. That was that was a good portion of what the apprenticeship was, is knowing who Sailor Jerry was, and Horiyoshi, and all of them guys, Bob Shaw, who I got to meet, Henry Goldfield is a friend of mine. I got to tattoo with him.
Very cool.
Right, and that tradition seems to have changed now, but yeah, it was critical. I mean, Moses literally told me when I was moving back to Minnesota, you have to pay Don respect, right? Literally wagged his finger. Fortunately, I listened, right? Because Don became, a great friend.
And maybe you have thought about this, maybe you haven't. Why do you think that's changed? Why do you think it just doesn't?
Things change. And now I think tattooing has changed so much that I don't know that would be possible. You'd have to go to 150 places.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And back then was a different time. I mean, completely. And I'm really blessed to have seen that, to seen what it was, to come from that. Right. To have Moses say, Shahn, this is Bob Shaw. Right. I mean, literally, that sort of respect in those circles was that was credo. That was, and those people in your family tree, they weren't people that you were associated with. That was family. Right. I mean, I can trace my tattoo family tree back, like Scotty learned from Lyle. Lyle learned from Bert Grimm. Right. And I got to, I didn't get to meet Bert, but Bob Shaw on Moses's side, that's and Henry Goldfield. Sure. Because Moses worked with Henry Goldfield and Bob Shaw, Shaw Family Tattoos, because Moses was self-taught. And that was knowing that and where you came from was super important. Now it's been, I don't want to call it diluted. It's different. I'm trying to be open-minded. I didn't like it when I was a young tattooer, when because the old guys, they were a lot stricter with us than we are now. I remember Moses bitch slapped me in the shop one day, right in front of everybody. Yep, and I earned it. I never did what I was doing again. And don't get me wrong, Moses is a sweet guy. But I mean, when it came to honor, respect, or doing what you were taught, that they didn't mince words. Now, I mean, back then there were no magazines, there was no internet, there was no outlet. It was, and nobody told anybody anything. Right? I mean, you didn't. If you found a machine that worked, you didn't tell even the guys you worked with. Usually, at Moses's place, they did. We worked well together. But those were secrets. You certainly didn't go on TV. Right? And it was almost like, I remember when the first tattoo magazine came into the shop, and prior to that, the only thing there was the quarterly letter or newsletter from National. That and a publication called Subversives, but that was more about piercing. And that first tattoo magazine came in the shop, and Moses had a couple of pictures in there, and I was like, we're gonna be famous. We're gonna wow. And Moses shook his head and he says, it's all over. The cat's out of the bag. Well, the next day the phone started ringing off the hook, and we learned real quick to play that game, right? But we had no idea, because really the internet in the late 80s wasn't even really, it existed, but it wasn't public, right?
True. That's a good point.
And did we even envision that it would, I think Moses saw it, right? I didn't, that it was going to turn into this internet sensation, and then TV and tattoo schools. And for good or for bad, I mean, what that transition did it make tattooing better? Yeah, you bet. A lot better, right? It was a renaissance, right? When guys like Guy Atchison and Bernie Luther hit the scene, and we're doing this stuff that nobody had seen before.
Right.
Nobody was seen before. That probably wouldn't have happened without the public knowledge of tattooing. But it's a double-edged sword. Moses once said that everybody that ever drove a station wagon wants to be a tattooer these days. And now that's becoming true.
Right.
And I remember talking to Paul Booth. We used to hang out a lot. We used to tour together. And, you know, we thought that, okay, this wave, this renaissance has to end. It's going to end. 10 years later, it hadn't ended. 20 years later, it hadn't ended. Now we're here, you know, well, for me, close to 40 years later.
Right.
And I think it is. Not ending.
Yeah.
Changing.
Okay.
Right. And I can't quite quantify what it is. Is it too many tattooers? Yes. Not enough tattooed people. People wanting to get tattooed. I think these days it's a little less cool than it was 5 years ago.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And that's not a good formula.
Right.
And people will come and people will go.
Yeah.
And man, if you're one of those people that believes in tattooing, and that's hard to describe, right? If it's a part of your core, and everything about it is part of your core, and how you treat people is part of your core, and trying to improve and keep pushing, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Probably not going to go out and buy a brand new Mercedes anytime soon.
Right.
Right.
But you won't need to.
No.
Because tattooing is making it.
Yes.
Just, yeah.
Yes.
It's doing it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always believe that. I think Moses was the first one to kind of teach me that, was if you believe in it strongly enough, it will always take care of you.
Yeah.
And in almost 40 years, I found that to be true.
That's definitely probably one of the most commonly said things through the podcast whenever we talk to people is, you know, just that, you know, if you take care of tattooing, it'll take care of you.
Absolutely. Well, really, that could be any profession.
Right.
But I think it's different with tattooing, because tattooing's not like anything else.
Agreed. Yeah.
I mean, it's completely, there's nothing else you could do that's going to affect somebody for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Right. And it was one of the first things Moses taught me when I apprenticed. It was before I built needles, any of that. He says, you know, Shahn, you can do the most brilliant tattoo in the world, and if they don't have a good time, you'll never see them again.
Dude, absolutely. And that's what I try to incorporate or share with people who, you know, the reason that I wanted to start a shop is because, I felt like, one, the artists could be treated better, and two, the clients could be treated a lot better. How do we do that? And it's like, first, the clients are the most important person in this transaction. And then I paint the illustration of like, how many really badass tattoos are there on people? But if they had a terrible experience, that is literally stuck with them forever.
100%.
So give them a great experience.
And it's not hard. It made sense to me. And people won't buy it if you're not serious, right? And we as tattooers, it's kind of a epidemic that the way I think it happens is people forget walking into Machine Gun Rat for the first time, right?
Yeah.
That awe.
Yes.
You almost hear a chorus when you like,
Right.
wow.
Right.
And they get downtrodden with, I mean, because working with people is hard, real hard, especially with what we do, because people tell us stuff that they won't tell their own therapist.
Right.
And I know I have heard some stuff I wish I hadn't over the years, and that can drag you down, right? And then your back starts hurting, your wrist starts hurting, and they forget about walking into that first studio, right? But if you keep that in your mind, what Moses called rock and roll church, and realizing that every person that walks through that door, you got to remember that's what they're looking at. And if you're a Machine Gun Rat to them, they'll never forget that, right? And if you're a Scott Sterling to that, they'll never forget that, right? The worst thing a tattooer can do is 30 years from now have somebody look in the mirror and say, man, that's a great tattoo, but what a prick.
I know, exactly.
Right? Because I think that affects your soul.
I would agree. Yeah.
On the other hand, if you do it right and you affect people with a lot of positivity, that affects it too, but in a better way.
Dude, some of my best friends have come from tattooing. Started as clients. And it's just like we just keep going and we keep going, and it's like, dude, what? And and this relationship builds, and it's the coolest thing on earth.
Yep,
for sure.
Yep, coolest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Except for marrying my wife,
Right.
my kids and my grandkids.
Yeah.
They have to take precedence. I think that's a like a rule or something.
Sure. Right. So we're cool. No. So okay. Kind of going back to, Renaissance, it's changing. Let's say in 20 years, what do you hope tattooing looks like?
I'd like to see some of the older traditions come back, not the mean stuff.
Yeah.
Like my apprentices, I was never mean to them.
Right.
And Moses and Scotty were never mean to me. They were strict. Right. And some of the stories that you hear of apprenticeships, they're doing stuff that they should not be doing.
Right.
But I would like to see some of the reverence for the people that came before us and where it came from and what people are doing. Become less what I see as watered down, homogenized, right? It should be that, like seeing the carnival for the first time.
Yeah.
Right. Or the first time you got laid, right? First time you got drunk.
Sure.
Right. That wonderment of, wow, this is new. This is wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to marry this chick. Right.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see that people that understood where it came from.
Sure.
I could be ready for it not to be as cool as it is now again. Right. I kind of miss the days where I was walking on the other side of the tracks.
Yeah.
It was a little dangerous. It was something that not everybody did.
Right.
I'd like to see that, even if it meant less business.
Sure.
But I realize that things change, and everybody that knows me knows that I'm stuck in my own ways. And change is I'm allergic to change. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be open-minded as much as I can, and try to embrace what people are doing now and be inspired by it instead of being intimidated by it.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly like what's been fun for me personally, talking to people, is like, what do you think it is? What viewpoint do you have on whatever is going on in tattooing? And sometimes it's the same answer, but it's just like, why do we think this is happening? I think for me personally is like, I really like the predictability that, I have Sundays and Mondays off, and I know Tuesday, it's just going to be hold on tight, because I'm going to get my ass kicked all week because I'm so busy. And you got to just try to give your best to everybody. And and then I don't know when it even, started changing, but I think maybe why I keep talking about this is because maybe I'm grieving a little bit.
I certainly am.
Yeah.
I miss the old days.
Yeah. Well, and I can't even really say that personally. I'm sure. I don't know how many changes or seasons or whatever you want to call it have you personally seen in tattooing?
A multitude of small ones, but the big change comparing the 80s to the 2026s, I think is the respect to the old school tradition, knowing your craft, not relying on corporate overlords to supply you with what you need. The walk on the wild side, hanging out with those old guys. I was really lucky.
Yeah.
Because Moses, I'm sure, because I was a dumb kid, I wasn't always as respectable as I am now, right? I was a dumb kid, and I'm sure Moses took, like Philadelphia Eddie and RJ Rossini and those guys and said, hey, give the kid a chance. He's, he's okay. Right. He'll be all right. I vouch for him. And that got me in with all of those old school guys.
Sure.
And, you know, I didn't just hang out with Philadelphia Eddie. He was my friend.
Yeah.
Right. And Stanley Moskowitz and them guys, man, it was more than an acquaintance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. And I'm real glad that those guys gave me the time of day. You know, Mike Malone and man, Henry Goldfield. There's so many. I mean, even speaking to Bob Shaw. Never got to meet Paul Rogers, but yeah, he passed a year or two before I started doing conventions.
Sure.
Yeah. But I mean, and I've tried to realize that, you know, as these guys pass on, somebody has to step into those roles, and I don't feel like I'm one of those people. You know, there's only one Philadelphia Eddie, right? And those guys changed everything. You know, in my head, I'm still 29 years old, right? I'll never be as old as Stanley Moskowitz, right?
Yeah, right.
And I think that's the biggest thing for me was it used to be, man, you just to get the shot to do it, you really, well, I had to work for free.
Right.
And now, you know, there's tattoo schools, and it's a different thing. I'm trying not be careful not to disrespect anybody.
Yeah.
And it's different. And I'm trying to accept that and learn that without forgetting that, man, was it cool back then.
I think there is, you know, kind of like this fine line of like, you know, whenever something crazy is going on, let's say like COVID, it's just like the people who are so quick to somehow adapt and make something out of that. It's like, wow, I wish I can kind of have that mentality instead of be like, fuck, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's my natural instinct.
Yep.
So yeah, same thing. I'm like, well, I'm curious where this is going. I don't want to go away. I don't want to go install solar panels. I want to tattoo until I die.
Yep.
Because I genuinely love it. So it's like, well, I've never seen this before, so I guess I'll just wait and see what happens and hopefully get some super crazy insight from
I mean,
like
you know, just maintain those traditions and talk about them and try to teach them to the younger generations. Those that want to understand it will try, and those that don't won't.
Yeah, sure.
Right? I told myself that I'll never be that old grumpy tattooer.
Yeah.
Right? And there's days where I am. You know, I mean, but I still love it every day.
Right.
You know, and I'm very inspired with what's happening now. That's probably the best thing that came out of that transition from the 80s to now, is some of the tattooing that's being accomplished is indescribable.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Just beyond anything I thought I'd ever see.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Do you feel like some of that stuff has the possibility or ability to have the longevity of
some of it?
Okay.
If there's enough black.
Yep. Sure.
Right. A lot of the stuff that's, I know in the beginning of the rotary movement, a lot of that stuff is not saturated enough, but they're kind of figuring out how to make them hit hard. Yeah. And consistent. And some stuff, I mean, it'll look great for a year and not so much. Right. You got to have black. So, but there are people out there that are doing this new fancy style of tattooing with enough black to hold it up. Sure. You know, but a lot of those light tones they're gonna be gone. Yeah. But if there's not enough black, it'll look cool. Right. You know.
Right. Exactly. That foundation is still gonna look badass enough to where it's like, that was a cool tattoo before you put color in it.
Yeah, you bet. I mean, you know, it's like my geisha here, right?
Exactly.
Julie did that 35 years ago almost. So cool. Not quite. And you know, she's faded, but she still looks great. Right. But if that black wasn't there,
exactly,
she'd be gone.
Yeah, it looked like a skin condition.
Yeah. I'm a true believer that there's got to be black in tattoos.
Agreed.
You definitely hammered that into me right away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think for me, anytime I tip maybe towards doing something that's supposed to look real, it's like for some reason, real stuff, in order for me to accomplish it, it has to have so much black in it. Because, you know, without it, it's like it just doesn't look quite real. But for some reason, you put a shit ton of black in it.
Yep.
It looks real.
You bet. You bet.
It's like, I don't know, because, you know, real life, I'm like, I don't know, is there that much black in real life? There must be, or something, or maybe it's just how our brains translate the tattoo whenever there's a shit ton of black in it.
Sure, but we're not talking about real life. We're talking about a tattoo.
Yeah, right.
Right, and a lot of that is interpretation of what a tattoo is going to, number one, hold up over time, and how you're going to produce an image with a tattoo machine in a way that it's going to hold up over time and look right. Right, that's why guys like Greg Irons were so important. His imagery, if you look at it, even though it seems detailed, his tattoos, they're pretty wide open, but powerful. Right? And it's like a traditional tattoo or a Japanese tattoo. Those formulations, the thirds. I mean, that's a powerful combination that works for a tattoo. And trying to approach some of this new realistic stuff with holding on to that, that's tricky. But when it works, it's really cool. Yeah. All those big neon sign tattoos, you won't be seeing me do any of that anytime soon. Sure. Unless somebody forces me to.
Unless that's the only thing coming in the door.
Yeah. Lately, I've been trying to simplify.
Right.
Get more straightforward.
Yeah.
Yep. And I've been real happy with that.
Interesting. That's really cool.
What is one of your most memorable convention moments or stories?
Oh my. I'd have to say Philly 90, the National, my first one.
Really?
Yep. I was still working with Sailor Moses. And he was dating Suzanne Fauser at the time. So it was the three of us in a booth. Right next to us was the late, great Jack Rudy, Brian Everett, Cap Zumsky, and Gil Monty was right across the aisle. And that's the weekend I met Bob Shaw.
Oh, wow.
Bernie, Guy, and then all of those guys. And then on Monday, Moses wanted to go to Eddie's shop to have Eddie sign his leg. Now, this is the National. So Sunday night, we were just blasted, destroyed.
Yeah.
Monday morning, we get up, we're all hungover, headed over to Eddie's shop, right? And he starts getting set up to sign Moses's leg.
Yeah.
And he goes, Shahn, why don't you go up and check out the old tattoo museum upstairs?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. And I looking around and I come down and Eddie's tattooing Moses's leg and gets done and puts the machine down and he goes, Moses, I'm real sorry, but it's a little shaky. And Moses looks down and he goes, wouldn't be right any other way. That's probably my coolest. But there's so many, because over the year, I used to do 13 of them a year. I probably worked 250 of them. I think I'm doing 2 this year.
Sure.
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you still do them?
To see people.
Friends? Yeah.
Cool. I mean, a lot of my friends don't go out anymore. And if I go out and do them that way, people know I'm not dead. Plus, there's other things to learn, and one of the shows I do is in Puerto Rico in December, so works for me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then
you just came back from that?
Yeah. Stayed a few extra days.
Either you always have a nice golden tone, or that's the reason.
That's why. Okay. Yeah. We stayed on the beach, and
gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, right on Condado Beach, and
cool.
Yeah, I think I think the first one was in 2016, and I've done them all.
Cool.
He didn't do it during COVID, of course, but yeah, I just go, and then whatever needs to be done for the Alliance Professional Tattooists.
Yeah, you want to talk a little bit about that, like, for people who are seeing, what is that? How long have you been a part? Why does it exist? All that good stuff.
The Alliance Professional Tattooists was formed by a group of tattoo artists in 1992 because they noticed that some of our health and safety standards needed to be upgraded. Realize that when I started tattooing in the 80s, there were still guys that were wearing one glove. Yeah, they didn't wear a glove on their stretching hand, right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
To me, that seems like the most important.
Oh yeah. And again, my first tattoo was no new needle or tube.
Yeah, right.
So they put together the APT, and I became a member in the first year. I was the 112th member of the organization. And we're primarily focused on the health and safety standards for tattooing and teaching safe tattooing, preventing bad legislation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my 17th non-consecutive year on the board of directors,
Mm-hmm.
and I've served as its president 3 terms.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. And we do, mostly it's health and safety, but lately with the Modernization of Cosmetic Regulation Act, there's a lot of work to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Most recently with the Association of Food and Drug Officials, and the University of Binghamton in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and the FDA and the manufacturers on trying to shepherd or prevent a disaster with pigment in the United States.
Yeah.
You know, the problems that they just got over with in the EU, and we're right in the middle of that. I'm still on the board. This is my last year, unless somebody talks me into changing that again. Yeah. But it's a great organization. It's really the only one we got.
Right.
That's by tattooers for tattooers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a manufacturer that has an
Mhm.
organization. It's
Mm-hmm.
and you know, we need all the help we can get. Yeah. We're not the scientists. We're just tattooers that are trying to make a difference
Right.
for no other reason than to try to preserve the industry
Right.
and be safe.
Yeah. Do you want to touch on what the what's happening with pigment and what did just happen with the pigment?
As part of the omnibus spending bill in 2022, they slid in MACRA, which is the Modernization of Cosmetic Regulation Act. It forces the FDA to oversee or regulate the pigment industry. And MACRA isn't just tattooing.
Mm-hmm.
Lipstick,
Mm-hmm.
deodorant, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And understandably, the FDA doesn't quite know what to do with us, right?
Sure.
They don't. They know we're not causing issues, but now they're being forced to scientifically quantify what we use,
Mm-hmm.
which is a long discussion. It gets into color additive petitions, efficacy studies, all of the above. We're talking millions in research to get these pigments approved under Title 21 of the color additive law.
Uh-huh.
So we're working with manufacturers. We were working with the Association of Food and Drug Officials. We're doing studies. We're doing a long-term efficacy study for pigment in human skin. And we're awaiting peer review for a study we did with Dr. John Swerk at Binghamton University in New York
Mm-hmm.
to state that tattooing is not an injection.
Okay.
Because the FDA is putting us into a different classification for the color additive petitions
Mm-hmm.
because they consider it an injection, and they're holding firm to that. So now we're
Interesting.
scientifically trying to prove that it is not,
Yeah.
because it's a solid core needle.
Sure.
You know, we're not
Yeah.
intervening. You know, we're
Of
not
course.
injecting it into the skin.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I feel that tattooing is one of the safer things you can do.
Agreed.
And you can point that out to the FDA that, hey, man, carbon black's been used in tattooing for over 5,300 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not causing issues. And they know that, but to a scientist or to people at the FDA, that's merely anecdotal.
Mm.
That's not scientific. They need studies and testing that prove
Mm-hmm.
what we already know, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing it almost 40 years, and I still tattoo people I tattooed 30 some years ago.
Sure. Sure.
So I can see what these pigments do in the skin for decades.
Yeah. It's just perhaps you can't use that as an example because
They want
this
everything on
wasn't
paper.
written down.
It's what they consider anecdotal. That's not scientific.
Yeah.
What they want to see is this testing facility did these series of tests, or animal testing, which everybody in the industry is, I don't call it an industry, everybody in the trade is against,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And without that testing, it's hard for them to quantify scientifically that they can say that this is safe.
Sure.
Put the label on there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a very complex issue.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. And then, I mean, I guess in the meantime, while they're waiting for the tests and the studies, we could just keep going.
As far as I know.
But then what's the risk?
That could change tomorrow. Well, I don't believe with a properly manufactured pigment from a reputable facility, I don't believe it is risky. Well, 200 people a year die from eating peanuts, right? Mm-hmm. There's nothing you can ingest, sprinkle, spray, or do to the body without potential risk.
Right, right.
The studies that I have done on it, it's extraordinarily rare.
Sure.
For there to be an issue with tattoo pigment.
Right.
Versus peanuts.
Right.
I literally have said that in meetings with the FDA is why don't you focus on peanuts, because they're killing more people than tattooing, right?
Yeah.
In an era where you can walk down and get a carton of cigarettes and a jug of whiskey, we should be able to tattoo.
Right. Yeah.
And really, if you look at it, and the FDA has been watching us. APT, we were aware of the FDA monitoring us back in the 90s when I was president. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the researcher's name, but they were breaking down pigment, studying us. Mm-hmm. And they have been monitoring us. There was a problem with gray washes in New York it was pre-COVID. Mm-hmm. There was like 29 cases of non-tuberculous microbacterium NTM infection. And they were on it and did a recall. So the FDA has been watching us for a while. Sure. And it's my personal opinion that they understand that it's not causing issue. In fact, they said it on their own website for years.
Oh, okay.
I think the exact wording they used was, we have not exercised our regulatory authority over these pigments because of the historical lack of problems associated with tattoo pigment. Then MACRA hit, and nobody knew it was coming. APT didn't know. I don't think the manufacturers knew, and I believe the FDA didn't know.
Interesting. Which
now statutorily compels them to regulate tattoo pigment.
Okay.
And everything else. Realize they're worried about deodorant and lipstick and right and tattooing. Our trade is this little thing over here, right, that used to be in the back alley that everybody ignored because we weren't causing issues.
Yeah.
And now they have to scientifically prove what I believe everybody already knows.
Right. And do you think that just the explosion of popularity is kind of what put that on somebody's
Absolutely.
rate? Okay. So.
Absolutely. And the old timers, they knew that.
Yeah.
That's why Moses shook his head when tattoo issue number 1 came out, right? Because nobody paid attention to us. We were something that those people did.
Yeah.
You know, no respectable member of society would even go into a tattoo shop, right?
Right.
Yeah. I didn't see it with the magazines, but I sure did with TV. Mm-hmm. When it hit TV, I'm like, this is too big.
It definitely did bring something that was so taboo and what those people did right into people's living rooms. And everybody loved it.
You bet.
Because it was entertaining.
You bet.
And
Yep. What that did was encourage a lot of people that probably shouldn't have been tattooed. Mm-hmm. And I don't have the authority to say that.
Right, agreed.
Right, the mindset of being tattooed, it should be, wow, I gotta have that.
Yeah.
Not, I saw this on TV last night.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I think I'll get something on my neck.
Yeah. I remember seeing an interview with, pretty legit tattooer who was on one of the earlier TV shows. He's like, just in my regular day, I was talking to my client. The client's going over all the details of why this is important to him and why. He's like, dude, don't worry, the cameras aren't on.
Yeah.
Just get the tattoo.
Well, and that's kind of the way things are now. And I understand that's important to them.
Yep. Right.
I just listen to them.
Yes. Yeah, definitely some tattoos are like, oh, that is super sweet, or
Mhm.
that is super. Otherwise, it's like, I don't know what this biomech shit is. It just looks badass, dude. I don't care. It has no meaning at all.
My first dragon was because I was scared into picking a design right away because I was afraid of the guy. Right? I just needed that one.
Thankfully, it was a dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, and neither is right or wrong,
Right,
but with
agreed.
the explosion of the popularity and the sheer numbers of people getting tattooed, I think that, and we don't really know where Makra came from. At least I don't.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it. Yeah. It sounds
And none of us, until it was passed. I mean, we got that omnibus bill passed, and it was the next week. It was the first time I heard the term Makra,
Uh-huh.
and the sky fell.
Yeah. Do you think that, let's say that keeps trucking, is an option or a possibility that, okay, now instead of, I don't know, however many tattoo ink manufacturers there are, that this is just going to get compressed down to like 3, and those are the approved ones, or
Possibly.
and then what could happen with the prices?
Well, if that happens, I would like to see more than just a handful of manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
My core with all of the work and the battles I've done on Makra is, number one, to preserve what I know works.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The old timers figured out what pigments work in the skin long term,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been using them for decades, some centuries,
Mm-hmm.
right? Thousands of years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In the case of carbon black.
Right.
That is my number one. Whatever action I take or recommend with the APT is based on that core, trying to maintain what we know works
Mm-hmm.
without having to start experimenting with new compounds.
Mm-hmm.
Then it seems as though they primarily at this time are concerned with good manufacturing procedure.
Okay.
All for it.
Sure.
No problem.
And technically that should be happening, hopefully.
Yep.
Everything that we
Yep,
have
it should
access
be.
to.
It should be. But, I think a lot of problems that have come up are with Chinese knockoff pigment.
Right.
I know a friend of mine who owns a manufacturing company actually had to go to Europe
Mm-hmm.
because somebody had ordered bottles of his pigment
Mm-hmm.
and there was problems, and he had to go prove that it wasn't his pigment.
Wow. We've heard a little bit about that stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's the same one. But it's
Mhm.
like, that wasn't the real stuff.
No, it was
Looked like
it
it.
was knockoff. I've seen bottles of pigment that you really had to look.
Yeah.
There's one stamp that'll be different on it. Yeah. And you just can't, or don't order pigment off of Amazon.
Mm.
Don't go to a reputable manufacturer. Yeah.
That's the story we heard.
So I mean, if some better good manufacturing procedures comes from this, which it will,
Mm-hmm.
and we continue to be able to use the compounds we know work, then
Mhm.
that is my goal.
Sure.
And I won't say anything that we can do to get there,
Yeah.
but just short of that,
Yeah.
right? I mean, once Makra was passed, we were in real danger, just like in Europe where they lost a lot of their colors.
Sure. And is it that they're finding that certain colors, does that go all the way down to the pigment? That
Yeah.
they're saying this is bad for some reason?
Correct.
Like it can hurt I don't know.
In European Parliament, they had to, their issue, if I understand it properly, is they couldn't use like phthalo blue, phthalo green because their chemical agency controls it there. Through us, it's FDA.
Mhm.
And it did not adhere to one of their safe chemical lists, right? I heard that they had to admit in committee that those two colors weren't causing problems. It just didn't apply to their list of acceptable compounds to be used.
Interesting.
It's a very complex and expensive problem to fix.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that FDA knows that there's not an issue, right? And in my opinion, and I've given my opinion, that that would push tattooing underground and make it harder to verify that a more prevalent problem, which is bacterial contamination and cross-contamination, could not be inspected.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to keep tattooing above ground where at bare minimum you can go in and make sure that the floors are clean and your sterilizer works and you're doing record keeping.
Yep.
And I think that they understand that, which is why we haven't lost anything yet.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yep. It's all about safety. And I wouldn't fight so hard if I didn't believe in what we were using.
Right.
Sure. Right. Exactly.
I mean, I've known a lot of tattooers in 40 years and seen, thousands and thousands and thousands of tattoos.
Yeah.
And true pigment related problems are extraordinarily rare.
Right.
I mean, it's more dangerous to eat a peanut. Certainly more dangerous to smoke a cigarette. Right. Or drink that shot of whiskey.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. But that's a complex problem because those products have a label on them that say, it's informed consent.
Sure.
Which we would probably like to avoid because we don't believe that we're causing problems.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Nor, if you get too many tattoos versus if you have too many shots, this could knock you off.
And
that's probably not going to happen.
I've read hundreds of scientific studies. I've got stacks because I print them out that I've studied on the last 20 years of scientific examination of tattoo pigment.
Yeah.
Right. And, whether it's cancer or anything else, I mean, all the studies that I read say that the cancer rates for a tattooed versus a non-tattooed person are the same. Right. And one of the things that I told the FDA when I was able to speak to them was, millions of these things are going on every day. And you're not seeing a problem. And they seem to understand that. But again, that's anecdotal.
Yeah.
That's where tattooers are thinking here, and scientists they're looking for evidence, peer-reviewed studies, scientific studies, animal testing, which again we're all against.
Right.
Right. That's what, and I don't know how we're going to scientifically get to the point to prove what I believe we already know.
Yeah.
That's in a nutshell. That's my understanding of where that's at now.
Because you gotta be able to tattoo the thing on the rabbit subject and hope that thing stays alive long enough to understand what can happen with this pigment living in the skin.
Now, when Congress passed this bill, part of the omnibus spending bill, it was the understanding that Congress did not feel that animal testing was justified to accomplish compliance under MACRA.
Okay.
So we might be able to find a way to do that without animal testing. What that is, I don't know if it's in vivo or human studies or somehow scientifically quantifying what's already been done over the past millennia. Right. It's a complex problem that I'm certainly underqualified to even discuss, much less work on the problem directly.
Right.
Yeah.
You just have the experience.
Well, there's no one else fighting for us. I mean, the manufacturers are, right? But as far as practitioners, that's who the APT is.
Yeah.
We're fighting for the practitioner, the person that's actually doing it, and the receiving end of the practitioner, the client.
Yeah, exactly.
And really, we're underrepresented. I mean, APT is too small, right? I mean, less than 1% of American tattooers are a member.
So would you say that maybe that would be a call to action for tattooers right now?
Absolutely.
Would you say that, I mean, what's the onboarding process for APT? Is there like how long have you been tattooing?
Yeah, I mean, to be a professional level member, you have to have been tattooing a verifiable 3 years, have somebody vouch for you, but it's safe-tattoos.com.
Okay, cool.
Or just Google APT and there's an application there. It's not expensive. But what that does is funds what we're doing, because realize none of us directors are paid.
Yeah, right.
there is a travel stipend, but in the 30, almost 34 years I've been involved, not only have I paid my dues every year, but I funded my own travel and expense, which when I was president, you're talking tens of thousands a year in direct cost of travel, and that's not including hourly time.
Right. Right.
I think my record, my first term as president, on a headset while tattooing was 7.5 hours.
Wow.
Yep. And it'd be calls from the Atlanta Health Department or, Orange County Health Inspector. Never knew.
Yeah. Wow.
Speaking of, that just triggered something that I wanted to ask you. I heard a rumor about the longest tattoo in one sitting you ever did. What would you say?
Oh, let's see. It'd probably be on Sting. I did 24 hours charge time on them in 3 days.
Okay.
I used to routinely do back pieces in a week. They'd fly in on Monday, leave on Friday, completed.
Wow.
Yep.
I think the rumor I heard is that you tattooed for 48 hours straight.
Oh, that I tattooed? Yeah. No, it was 36.
Okay, well,
it was 36. I was still in the military. Dave Gibson was there when he was still alive, and it was the 4th of July. So I was teaching my class for the Air Force at 6 a.m. So then I got up at 4:30. That day I was done at noon. So it was 12:30 till I think 10:30 Saturday night.
What was it?
Well, no, just banging.
Okay,
military payday weekend. Yeah. No, I wouldn't torture an individual. No. Sting was the closest thing to that.
Still
because he owned a shop in Bremerhaven, Germany.
Oh, okay,
so
sure.
he flew out. I flew there 3 times. I was doing his bodysuit.
Gosh.
And then he flew here, and I do 3 days in a row. Just do 24 hours on him in 3 days. But I avoid that now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I can't do it anymore, and I can't do it to somebody anymore.
What? How long do you? Because you said you still tattoo 5 days a week.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
4 to 5. Yeah.
kind of commendable.
Yeah.
What? And how long are your sessions usually?
I'm usually in the shop from like 9:30 in the morning till 7:30 at night. Depends on the night. But
how do you take care of yourself? How do you keep that up?
Work out, do cardio.
Okay.
Don't drink during the week at all.
Okay.
Not a drive, unless the Vikes are on Monday Night Football, right? Because you can't watch the Vikings without drinking.
Yeah.
So, man, if your appointment is the day after a Vikings game with me, I probably had a couple beers the night before.
Yeah.
You'll be fine though.
Right. Interesting.
But I try to stay in shape. I try to eat right.
Yeah.
Do cardio, and I still love it.
Cool.
And
I see you guys have a drawing table that's attached to a stationary bicycle.
Oh yes.
Other than that, what kind of cardio do you like to do?
I have an elliptical and I lift.
Okay.
So I do cardio almost every day.
Okay.
And then I lift every other day.
Nice.
Because I used to be a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in really good shape, but then you get busy, and you start gaining weight, and you're not lifting as much, and you don't realize how crappy you feel. Plus, you're getting older.
Sure. Yeah.
And I said, man, I need to get back in shape, or I'm not going to be able to tattoo anymore.
Yeah.
So at one point, I lost 50 pounds.
Wow.
I actually got to my high school football weight for one day. one day, but I was starving. I got down to 175 pounds.
Holy crap, dude.
But I was less than 1,000 calories a day.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was not good. It wasn't healthy.
Right.
So I had some weight on that was acceptable, and
Sure.
that way I can eat. And,
Yeah.
But to be driven like that, I don't know that I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people that idle time isn't good for me. Mm-hmm. I tend to fill my hands with beer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta be doing something.
That's cool. I mean, at least you know that about yourself, and I think that's part of life is figuring those things out. Like, I know myself this much that I need to do X, Y, Z, or else I'll do X, Y, Z.
Yep.
And that'll hurt me.
Yep.
I think that's a big part of probably at least for people who want to take tattooing serious, they don't think about some of that stuff like, oh, you should probably consider how much peopling can you handle in a day? What would you, could you, should you do to sustain being able to tattoo numerous days a week in a row for several hours a day? It's like, after a while, it's like, you got to start thinking about that stuff.
Yep. Taking care of a tattooer. I mean, back in the day, we were terrible at taking care of ourselves.
Right.
Oh yeah, it was crazy back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I won't go into it, but we weren't as responsible as we are now. I knew of shops, I didn't work there, that required you to have an open beer at your station while you tattoo. That was not Moses's. No, Moses was pretty responsible for the age. Right?
Sure.
But we certainly partied way harder.
Yeah.
Right. And tattooers, we're tough on our bodies, and we usually don't eat right. A lot of us drink or do drugs. And that's gets to a point when you get to be my age where that's not real possible anymore if you want to survive and keep tattooing or certainly be effective. Right, which gets harder and harder the longer you tattoo. But most tattooers don't even make it to 40.
Sure.
27 will be 40 for me, so
Wow.
I'll be yeah.
I'm not even halfway there.
It goes fast,
Almost.
especially the last half. I mean, it goes by like a flicker.
Yeah.
Especially if you stay busy.
Sure.
It just, pretty soon I'll be dead.
Right. Man, I mean, yeah, right. But you are definitely like a patriarch to tattooing. I know people that I've admired for several years who came from the shop.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, dude. And those people are, they're the people I tell anybody that I meet and get to work with, like, you got to check these guys out. They're insane.
We've been blessed. We've been very blessed to have everybody that's worked here. Very, very fortunate. Yeah.
So for someone like Drew, fairly brand new to tattooing, and anybody in between, I'm coming up on 19 years of professional tattooing in February. What would you say to those of us who are like, I want to die doing this? Do you have, other than join APT, care about that?
Yes, believe in it. Because if you think about it in that the way it's hard for me to describe. If it's part of you, if it's part of you, Scott Sterling called it a trap. Right? You couldn't get away if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And that's pretty rare.
Right. I would agree.
I know a lot of tattooers that don't believe it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate enough to know a whole bunch of them that do. Like Don Nolan. Man, that guy did back pieces and sleeves to right up to the end. Right? He was a believer. I think he was close to 70 years of tattooing, 60 something. Yeah, man. That's what I call an old schooler.
Yeah.
And still laying everything out in color.
How old was he when he was
84. But believing in it and taking care of your body and your mind, not letting it get you down.
Yeah.
Because it'll eat you whole if you let it. Give yourself a break. Right? Because we all do stuff that we should have done this or should have done that. You got to let that happen.
Yeah.
Like any other artist on the planet. Man, painters throw away paintings all the time. We can't.
Yeah.
We can't.
That's a good point.
You have to be ready or let yourself realize that tattoo that you may have changed a few things to that person. If they had a great experience and they're happy and they're stoked with it, then it's a great tattoo. I've seen a lot of brilliant work that people hated that tattoo that were wearing it. And I've seen very mediocre tattoos. They were like, look at that.
Yeah, right.
And that's what it's all about, really. I mean, and a lot of tattooers kind of lose that connection, that it's not really about us, right?
Right.
It's about that person that we're marking for the rest of their life.
Yeah, we're literally changing people's lives.
Yeah. If you lose sight of that, you're going to go down a wrong path.
Yeah.
That's the way I do it. It's not the rule, but that's how I understand it and believe in it. And as long as I can make them, and I still feel that I'm growing and doing some really, good stuff. The moment that I don't, I'll have to quit. Or the moment I can't, have somebody have fun. If I'm not able to function mentally. So far, so good. I'm having fun, man. Clients love it. They're more than willing to come and pay me to do it. So that's good. But the moment that it burns you to the point where you can't function, that's not good. Time to find a new job. Do some drywall or something.
Yeah.
No.
And what's your favorite part of being a tattooer and being in this trade?
All of it. Yeah. I mean, from the foundation to the roof. That's why I still use coils, man. I still tattoo with a machine I apprenticed on.
Oh my gosh.
Cool. The first machine I ever built also. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't use them every day now, but there's a left-handed Paul Rogers machine up there that I apprenticed on.
Are you a lefty?
No.
Okay.
Scotty was.
He is. Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and he got it because he was hanging around with Paul Rogers. Right, and that's where he learned how to build machines so well.
Yeah.
But when I apprenticed, I had to make my own liner, but then Scotty handed me 2 left-handed Paul Rogers machines. These are the shaders you use.
Wow.
And then we left to work for Mike Malone. He says, "Do you want to buy one of those?" Yes. He says, "Which one do you want?" There was a blue coil one and a red coil one. And I said, "Well, I kind of like the blue coils." And he goes, "Nope, you like the red coils." But it's that whole thing, and still being a part of the creation of what I'm using, right? With that old machine that I built, or the pigments that I mix, or I don't make my own needles anymore. But the whole process from beginning to end, the people, the design, the tattoo, and then seeing them come in, because here we've been here so long. I just had somebody in last week that I tattooed 30 years ago.
Super cool.
Right? And that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
You didn't mess up too bad if they come back 30 years later for another one.
Right.
Yeah. And keeping that in mind and showing that client that sort of attention and affection that would make them want to come back 30 years later. That's what tattooing's all about. We're not selling them a cheeseburger or a car. Right? This is going to be on them, man. Yeah. And it's not hard to understand, but it's hard to execute, especially if you're having a bad day, or you're tired, or you're old, or you're hungover. Right. It's not easy. Right? You got some bad news or something. Man, that client that's coming through the door should have no freaking idea that there's something going down with you.
Right.
None whatsoever.
I have grown to know that if I am having a shitty day, shitty morning, all I got to do is go tattoo. Yeah. And it fixes it.
It's all better.
Yeah.
It's spectacular. And that's why it'll stick with you. Or it's a trap. One of the two.
And then maybe one last bit of wisdom. What could you say to maybe clients or the general public who might be watching this from that side? Any things that...
Oh, yeah. Wow. Do your research, right? Don't just look online, go there, go to the place, meet the people, smell the smells, right? Would you let them serve you a steak there? Or would you get your teeth drilled on there, right? If not, it's probably not the right place. Don't go to Machine Gun Rat. Right? Go to California Studio or Dragonland, right? And be sure, be open-minded to suggestions from the experts.
Sure.
Right? If they tell you not to put the mustache on your finger, don't put the mustache on your finger.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's going to look terrible.
Right. If it would work, we would do it. Cause,
yeah. If the don't put a demon on your gizzard for your first tattoo. Come on, man. Yeah, but and meet the people.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not just a piece of artwork you're buying, it's a whole process. Right? You want to check out the sterility. Ask.
Yeah.
You know, how do you guys take care of your needles? Is it all disposable? Do you autoclave? What do you do? Right?
Yeah.
Do your homework. Nowadays, it's not as dangerous as it used to be. I mean, back when I got my first tattoo, there needed to be more inspections. Right?
Yeah. What did you call it? He pulled it out of the what?
the ultrasonic.
You had a different name for it.
The scummy water of the ultrasonic. Yeah. Yeah. But nowadays, it's so above board that the real, truly dangerous stuff, primarily I think is in somebody's basement with their Amazon kit. Yeah, don't be somebody's guinea pig. Yeah, you're worth more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good word there. That's cool.
I don't know where I heard it from, but I heard somebody say one time, good tattoos aren't cheap and cheap tattoos aren't good.
That's right.
Don't do it.
100%. It's true. But, number one is you got to be cleanly. Go to a place that's clean, doing the right thing. Give it some thought.
Yeah.
If they tell you not to do the upside down demon on the bottom of your foot, don't do it. Right?
Right. They're not just trying to be mean.
Yeah.
There might be a reason.
Yeah.
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 Well, I generally tell people also, I'm like, if you've got to tell somebody no, tell them why.
Yeah.
Don't just say no.
Totally.
Say, this is the reason why.
Yes. Yeah. And that'll educate them. We just had somebody call for the ring tattoos.
Sure.
When we don't do them. Yeah. I mean, they can be done, but they never look good.
Right.
And we don't partake in doing tattoos that aren't going to have a positive outcome, which can't happen on a finger. It just, at best, it's going to be okay.
Right. Yeah.
We just don't do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I guess I was greatly surprised when you're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what?
I'm glad you did it. Yeah, it was fun.
Well, I really appreciate it, and definitely are super grateful for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure, guys.
Thanks, man.
You bet. It was fun. Thanks for doing it.